Welcome to my classroom. In this biochemical engineering course, in this module 2, we have been discussing about enzyme substrate mechanisms. So in the previous lecture number 15, we have seen what is the effect of enzyme cofactors, what is the difference between enzyme cofactors and coenzyme, and we have seen the effect of inhibitors. So inhibitors we have seen enzyme inhibitors can be reversible or irreversible. Under reversible we have seen competitive, reversible competitive, reversible non-competitive, and reversible uncompetitive, right? So also we have seen some of the covalent bonding like phosphorylation reactions also. Okay, so how they affect the enzyme activity have been discussed in detail in lecture number 15. And in lecture number 16 and 17, we have revised some of the numericals using how to determine the Michaelis-Menten parameters and the maximum velocity determination using graphical methods. And in lecture number 17, we have solved some derivations for a multiple substrate system, right? So in this lecture number 18, we are going to derive rate equation for the enzyme substrate inhibitor system with different mechanism. At least we will try to cover 2 derivations in this lecture. Okay, so you are going to derive it yourself. So I will be just guiding you how to derive. Okay, please do it yourself. If you have any doubt, you can refer to this lecture. So we have seen that enzyme inhibition can take place. We have seen that there can be reversible inhibition, which can be further subdivided into 3 types called reversible, competitive, we have reversible, non-competitive, and we have reversible, uncompetitive inhibitions. Okay, so the inhibition can be either reversible, competitive, reversible, non-competitive, reversible, uncompetitive inhibitions. So first let us discuss the first one, that is reversible competitive inhibitor. Okay, so what is this? In this inhibitions, actually this inhibitor will be closely binding with the real substrate. Okay, so which can be considered as a substrate catalog. 3, 2, 1. So in this the inhibitors closely binds with the real substrate, and this is considered as a substrate analog. So in this actually I will compete with the substrate, as I explained you earlier with the slide. You can see that it is occupying the space which is supposed to be occupied by the substrate. So thereby it is binding the active site of the enzyme. So that means that it is not available for the substrate to occupy. So as long as a competitive inhibitor holds the active site of an enzyme, the substrate will not be able to occupy or bind the active site of the enzyme. So that's what is happening with the case of a reversible competitive case. Okay, so for this, if we want to derive an expression for rate equation for that, please take down the question. Derive the rate equation for an enzyme substrate system with an inhibitor with following mechanism. Okay, let me change the color. So the mechanism is given, that is E plus S giving K1, K minus 1, ES, let it be first step. Then this E plus I will give Ki, K minus I are the rate constants, so forming EI. This is second step. Okay, so then we have this ES proceeding to form the product E plus P. Okay, so that will be third step. Okay, so what we can write is standard procedure only. What we will write? We will write the slowest step. We know that this is the slowest step, right? That is the rate determining step. So we will write the rate equation. The overall rate equation is given by the rate equation of the slowest step. So that where they are equal to V equal to dp by dt. Okay, so we can say that what is that? If it is given that K2. Okay, so these are the rate constant given. We can say capital K1 is equal to dissociation constants. Okay, so K1, or you can say Ki equal to K minus I by Ki. So this here we have K2 only. Okay, so that way. So what is the rate constant here? K2. So it is equal to rate of the reaction R equal to K2 into ES. Okay, so let it be equation number 1. Okay, so from step 1 what we know, from step 1 what we have is just write the rate of forward at equilibrium, standard thing. Okay, so at equilibrium rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. So we have K1 into E into S is equal to K minus 1 into ES, right? So we can say K minus 1 divided by K1 is equal to capital K1, right? So the dissociation constant is equal to ES by E into S by ES. Okay, let it be equation number 2. Any doubt in this? Standard one. By this time we have even written the exams. So now you know how to write the rate equations for a different step. Okay, from second step, similarly, from second step at equilibrium, rate of forward reaction equal to rate of backward reaction. So what we have is Ki into E into I is equal to K minus I into EI. So where EI is the intermediate formed with the inhibitor. Okay, so E concentration of E, concentration of I, concentration of EI. Okay, so now what is that capital Ki equal to K minus I by K plus I, which is equal to E into I by EI. Okay, let it be equation number 3. Same we have written. So now what we have to do, we have to write the enzyme balance equation, right? So writing the enzyme balance, that is the material balance for enzyme. Let E naught or E naught is the initial concentration of enzyme. Okay, so if you write the material balance or a conservation of enzyme, because enzyme is not taking part in the reaction, it only takes forms the intermediate and becomes a free state. Okay, so that way enzyme is conserved in this. So we can write the enzyme concentration is either present as free enzyme concentration or enzyme substrate intermediate or enzyme inhibitor intermediate. Okay, so these are the 3 forms in which this enzyme is present. Okay, let us call it equation number 4. Now what we have to do, we have E, we have ES and we have EI, right? For ES we have an expression, for EI we have an expression. If we substitute those two, we will get an expression. E is common outside, we can rewrite that. Okay, so how to do that? So we have this equation, right, from 2. So from 2 what we can get is ES is equal to E into S divided by K1. Okay, similarly from equation 3, equation 2 gives, so equation 3 gives us, what is that? EI is equal to E into I by Ki. Okay, so let us call it equation number 4 and 5. So substituting, sorry, it cannot be 4 and 5, so let it be 2a 3a. Okay, substituting 2a and 3a, substituting 2a and 3a in 4 will give us, what is that? E naught equal to, E is as it is, then Es is E into S by capital K1 plus E into I divided by capital Ki, right? So here E is common, so what we can do, we can take out the E common outside, concentration of E into 1 plus S by K1 plus concentration of I by Ki. These are capital K. Okay, so you have E naught. So what is E? Rearranging, we get E is equal to E naught divided by 1 plus S by K1 plus I by Ki. These two are capital K number. Okay, so give a number to it. Equation number, let us call it 5 or 6. What is the number you have given? So that is 4. This is 5. Let it be 6. Now if we substitute 6 in 2a, what we will get? Substituting 6 in 2a. Substituting 6 in equation number 2a, what we get? We have ES expression which is equal to E into S by K1, right? So if we substitute K here, what is happening? E naught into S divided by K1 into 1 plus S by K1 plus I by Ki. Is that right? Okay, so this is what we have. So we can take this K1 into this bracket. So what we will get is Es divided by, numerator is E naught into S. Okay, denominator is K1. So if you take K1 into this bracket, what we will get is K1 plus S plus K1 by Ki into I. Okay, let it be equation number 7. So this is the equation for ES. Now substitute this 7 in 1, where we have P is equal to K2 into ES, right? So that is our equation. So if we substitute that, we have small k, actually it is. So K2 into E naught into S divided by K1 plus S plus K1 by Ki into I, right? So this is the equation we have. So how we can simplify further? Let it be equation number 8. So we know that Vmax can be defined as K2 into E naught. Okay, if this is Vmax, and in this also we can simplify to write plus S. So these two can be combined together. So how to write? So we can write Vmax into S divided by, that is K1 plus K1 by Ki into I plus concentration of S substrate. Okay, so this is what we have. So now also we can rewrite this in this form. What is that? We can say Km dash is equal to K1 plus K1 by Ki into concentration of I. Okay, so then this is coming out to be a form where V equal to Vmax into S divided by Km dash plus S, equation number 9. Okay, where this 10 is the what, where Km dash is equal to this. Okay, so if Km dash is equal to K, this term, total term, we can write V equal to Vmax into S by Km dash plus S. Okay, so what is the net effect here? So what is the net effect of the competitive inhibition? We can see that it is an increased value of Km dash value and therefore reduced reaction rate. So it's not that usually it is only K1. Now there is some additional term coming into this. That means there is Km dash value increasing. Okay. And what about Vmax value? Vmax remains same. That's what in the comparison table also it is written. Okay. So that's why I have given you, I told you that time itself that when you derive the equation, you will come to know what is changing in the Km dash value and the Vmax value. So this is the equation we get. V equal to Vmax into S by Km dash plus S is 9. Equation number 9, where Km dash is equal to K1 plus K1 by Ki into I. So that is what is Km dash here. So with we can see that Km dash value has increased because there is additional term here. So we have Vmax value remaining the same, which is K2 into E naught. But due to the presence of inhibitor concentration, Km dash value is changing. So this is the final equation for reversible competitive equation. Reversible competitive inhibition. So when you have a plot, what you will get is, so usual plot is when there is no inhibition, we are having a kinetics like this, right? So when the inhibitor concentration is equal to 0, when you plot V versus substrate concentration, so we know that Vmax value is obtained here, right? So we have Vmax value and we used to get half of the Vmax, right? So what you get is usually hyperbolic curve. But now what we are going to get is a sigmoidal curve. Okay, so what is that? So when you plot same way, V versus substrate concentration, instead of increasing in this fashion, we are going to have see the increase is taking place like this. So when concentration of I is greater than 0. So you can superimpose these two graphs to have the same, have the proper comparison also. Okay, so that's what is happening. So you can see that there is no change in the Vmax value. Vmax is taking place at the same place, but Km value is moving from here to here. There is increase in Km value. Sorry. So there is an increase in Km value. Okay. So what is that? What we are observe is with inhibitor, your Vmax is not affected, Km value increases. Okay, so then what is the Lineweaver plot? When you make a Lineweaver plot, so what is that Lineweaver plot? It is 1 by V versus 1 by S, that is substrate concentration versus inverse of substrate concentration versus inverse of reaction rate. So what we will get is, when there is no inhibitor, we used to get a plot like this, means that is when inhibitor concentration is 0, that is in absence of concentration. When you have a plot like this, where we used to get slope of the curve used to be Km by Vmax, right? So this, where it is intersecting in the x-axis, we will be getting minus 1 by Km value. Okay, so that's how we used to get. But when you are having this case where when there is inhibition, so what we will going to get is, we are going to get curve where I concentration is greater than 0. So we are having a different plot. Okay, so you can see that there is increase in the Km dash value. So it is going to be minus 1 by Km dash value, and there is an inhibitor concentration which is greater than 0. Okay, so when it is increasing further, it is going to further increase like this. Okay, so that way it is moving away from the inhibitor. So that way, as I concentration increases, we are going to have increase in this slope. So that way that Km dash value is increasing. Okay, remember, you can see that half of the Vmax value is same. So here we are going to get the half of the Vmax, which will be the same. So that's what we understand from this mechanism. So for the given mechanism where where the reaction is taking place like this, what is the reaction? So E plus S giving ES, E plus I giving EI, then this ES proceeding to form E plus P, that is a product. So we can write the rate equation K2 into ES. So then we write from each step, we write what is forward reaction equal to backward reaction. To write any intermediate concentration is there. ES concentration is written, EI concentration is written. Then we write the enzyme balance. So initial concentration of the enzyme versus any time concentration in different phase. Either it is free enzyme or in the intermediate with the substrate or intermediate with the inhibition, we get the expression. We replace the term to write what is E. Then we substitute that E value in this ES equation. Okay, so then we substitute that equation in the overall rate equation, V equal to KT into ES. So then we simplify to get equation of V equal to Vmax into S by Km dash plus S, where Km dash is equal to K1 plus 1 K1 plus Ki by K1 by Ki into concentration of I. So we can see the value is increasing. So that's what we have seen with graphical plot of Lineweaver-Burk plot also. Okay, so with the increase in the inhibitor concentration, so there will be increase in the Km dash value. Okay, now we will derive the equation for reversible non-competitive inhibition. Okay, well, we have seen the derivation for a enzyme inhibitor when it is reversible competitive. So reversible competitive means it is competing with the substrate to occupy the active sites. Now we are going to discuss about an inhibitor which will not compete with the substrate to occupy the active site, but it will occupy some other site available in the protein, some other sites available in the enzyme. Okay, so but it means what? It is not disturbing the substrate getting binding to the surface directly. However, it is binding to some other surface and it is modifying the characteristics or the structure of this enzyme such that its affinity or the rate of the enzyme activity is getting affected. Means it will be slowing down. Enzyme activity is slowed down not because this inhibitor is occupying or competing with the substrate to occupy the active site. Okay, in this case of non-competitive reversible inhibition, here what is happening is these inhibitors are occupying some other sites other than the active sites in the enzyme surface, and it is changing the characteristics of the enzyme such that its affinity to perform the reaction, its affinity to get absorbed with the substrate is getting affected in a negative way. So that way this is a reversible non-competitive inhibition. So the mechanism is given. So let us derive an equation. Please take down this question. So we have a reversible non-competitive inhibition. So we consider an enzyme substrate inhibition system with the following mechanism. So where E is the enzyme, S is the substrate, I is the inhibitor. So we have E plus S forming ES and E plus S, ES for ES further proceeds to form product and the free enzyme. Okay, so the rate constant, it is a reversible reaction. So usually we can write K1, it is given as Km dash. So that means when you write the overall one, we have to write Km dash approximate or Km dash average kind of thing, because instead of K1 here we are writing Km dash. Okay, so here further this E will react with the inhibitor if it is present to form EI with the dissociation constant Ki. This is dissociation constant Km or Km dash. So the further this EI will react with the substrate to form ESI, which is an intermediate. So the dissociation constant is given Km dash. That means the dissociation constant here and here are same. Similarly, the dissociation constant here and here are same. Here this ESI, how other way ESI is formed, this ES plus I will also form ESI with the dissociation constant of Ki. Okay, so I repeat, E stands for enzyme, I stands for inhibitor, okay, S stands for substrate, P stands for product. Okay, so in earlier problem we have seen if a cofactor is there, we will write it as C. Okay, so that is the different notation, standard notations we will be following. Whenever we say standard notations, so this is the representation. Okay, so how to solve? Develop. So question here is, consider an enzyme system. Please develop and rate equation for this system. Okay, so what we should know here is, so this is not a competitive mechanism, so competitive reversible inhibition. Here the inhibitor is not occupying the active sites that is supposed to be occupied by the substrate. It is occupying some other site, but it is distorting the performance. Okay, it is distorting the enzyme conformation. That is, it is altering the structure of the enzyme such that the substrate is not able to bind to the surface. That way it is reducing the catalytic activity, it is reducing the enzyme activity. Okay, so how to solve this problem? Now we will solve this problem. So first write the given equations as separate equations so that easy for us to derive. Okay, so for how to write the given equation, this is the first reaction, E plus S having ES. It will be step 1. So the here forward rate constant is K1 K minus 1. We can use that only. Okay, K1 K minus 1, or you can use Km dash. Km dash is dissociation constant. This is for understanding purpose I am writing. So we have K1 or Km dash is equal to K minus 1 by K1. Okay, similarly Ki equal to K minus I by Ki. Okay, so these two only are there, right? So we should know this, what is dissociation constant. Okay, so this is first step. So then we have E plus I Ki K minus I forming EI, step number 2. So then both come forward reaction is taking place to form ESI, right? So we have ES plus I forming ESI. Again dissociation constant is given as Ki. So Ki K minus I, step 3. Okay, so here also this EI plus S forms ESI. This is again Km dash only. So this, whenever substrate is involved, it is Km dash given. So we will use K1 only so that we don't get confused. Okay, finally we can replace it. Okay, okay, now what is the final step? It is only ES forming advantageous intermediate proceeds to form E plus P. This is step number 5 with a rate constant of K2. So in this case it is forward rate constant, forward, backward, no, not there, it is not there. Okay. Now, so these are the 5 steps. So from step 5 what we can write? From step 5 you can write what is the rate of the equation, because it is the slowest step, RDS, rate determining step. So the rate of this overall rate of the reaction will be equal to the rate of the reaction of this step. So we have R equal to K2 into concentration of ES. Equation number 1. I hope there should be any doubt in this. So we write this. Then from step 1 what we can write? From step 1 what we can write? We have K1 into E into S is equal to K minus 1 into ES. Okay. So this can be written as K minus 1 by K1 equal to capital K1 equal to E into S by ES, which can be rearranged to write ES is equal to E into S divided by K1. Okay, that is equation number 2. Then from step 2, similarly we will get EI equal to E into I by KI. You can write that yourself, please write. We have KI into E into I equal to K minus I into EI. So I can write K minus I by Ki is equal to capital Ki equal to E into I by EI. So we can write EI is equal to E into I by capital Ki. So equation number 3. Okay. Now we have 1, 2, 3. So now from step 3 what you can write? From step 3, what is step 3? ES plus I giving ESI with Ki, K minus I. So easily we can write ES plus I giving EI, right? So that way K into 1I, equation number 3. This is Ki, K minus I. Okay, so that way for rate of forward at equilibrium, so here I have to write that at equilibrium rate of forward reaction equal to rate of backward reaction. That's why we are writing the same applicable here. Okay, so Ki into EI into third step is ES plus I, right? So that way 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, from step 3 we can write that Ki into ES into I is equal to K minus I into ESI. Okay, so we can write K minus I by Ki is equal to ES into I divided by ESI, which is capital Ki. Okay, so you can rewrite to write ESI, concentration of ESI is equal to ES into I divided by capital K. Let it be equation number 4. Okay. Now, see another one we need not write because this is also similar. We can replace that. So this is sufficient to write the energy balance for material balance for enzymes. Okay. So when you write the enzyme conservation equation, because let E naught is the initial concentration of enzyme. Okay, if E naught is the initial concentration of the enzyme, So in this case, there are so many forms in which the enzyme can be available, right? So E naught equal to, it is available as E, it is available as EI, it is available as ES, and also it is available as ESI. Okay, equation number 5. Now you have to substitute 3 and 4 here. Okay, so substitute equation number 3 here, equation number 4 here. Okay, what do you get? So substituting 3 and 4, what do you get? You please write. E naught is equal to E plus ES. We have not done it purposefully for VS so that you can easily write that. What is EI? EI is given from equation number 3. What is that? E into I by Ki, right? E into I by Ki. E into I by Ki plus, what is this ESI? ESI is ESI by Ki. Concentration of ES into I by Ks. Sorry. Ki. Okay. So equation number, it can be simplified. Okay. So how we can simplify? You have E, S common, E common. So if I take E terms together outside, what you get is 1 plus I by Ki. Similarly, if you take ES common outside, you get is 1 plus I by Ki. Okay, is that right? E equal to E into this term plus ES into this term. Okay, so can we take this ES term to the left hand side? So what we want to do is isolate E. We want to write what is E. Okay, so for that what I will do, I will take this term to the left hand side. So then I will take this to the denominator in the left hand side, I will get E, right? So please do that. So what you will get is E naught minus ES into 1 plus I divided by Ki, then all of this divided by 1 plus I by Ki will give us E. Is that right? E equal to E naught minus ES into 1 plus I by Ki plus 1 plus I by Ki. Okay, so this is, let it be equation number 6. Now we will substitute this equation number 6 in 2. What you will get? We substitute 6 in equation number 2, we will get an expression for ES. Please do it yourself. Look into equation number 2. We have equation ES equal to E into S by Ki. So just substitute E value here. That is, if you multiply by S by Ki, we get ES value. S by Ki gives us ES value. Okay. So what is that? E value is this. So what we will do? E naught minus ES into 1 plus I by Ki divided by 1 plus I by Ki into S divided by Ki, right? So we have, let me say this is a bracket. So yes, this can be written as 2 terms now, right? So can we do that? Please take this one. We can rearrange to write what is ES. Now we have ES equal to E naught minus Es into 1 plus I by Ki into S divided by 1 plus I by Ki into Ki. Okay. Okay. So we have expression for E now. So if we substitute this equation 6 into, we will get what is Es. Es is nothing but E into S by K1, right? So you can refer to equation 2. Substituting 6 into, what we will get is, this term we have to multiply by S by K1, right? So what will happen is equal to E naught is there into S divided by 1 plus I by Ki. If you take this K1 inside, we will get K1 plus K1 by Ki. Okay. Then you have minus Es into S divided by K1. How? Because this 1 plus I by Ki will get cancelled in this term. When you do it, here it is common. When you are separating it into two terms, then you have S by K1 coming into picture. So it is only Es there. Okay. So now we have this equation. So you can take it to the left hand side, because left hand side is Es. If you take it to the left hand side Es, so what you will get is 1 plus S by K1 equal to E naught into S by K1 plus K1 by Ki into I, right? So this is the equation. So now we can take it to the right hand side, is equal to E naught into S divided by K1 plus K1 by Ki into I, concentration of I, into this one term. So we have 1 plus S by K1. Okay. So this is the term we get. Okay. So this is, let it be equation number 7. So now we can substitute, we have ES equation, right? So now we substitute this 7 in 1. What is that? 7 in 1, what is that? K2 into ES is your rate equation, right? So this is our first equation. So if you multiply by K2, small K2, because it is not a reversible reaction, no dissociation constant. So K2 into E naught into S divided by this term totally, which is K1 plus K1 by Ki into concentration of I into 1 plus S by K1. Okay. So this is what we have, V equal to this. Okay. So now you can replace the terms as usual. So what is that? We can say that V equal to V max into S divided by 1 plus S into 1 plus S by K1, okay, into K1 plus K1 by Ki into I, okay. So this can be further simplified. How we can simplify it? So remember, it can be K1 can be, here is the K1, here is the K1. So what I will do is, I will take this K1 outside common, then I take it inside this bracket. What we will get is K1 plus S, in the denominator, numerator is same, V max into S. So K1 plus S, then what is there in here? It is 1 plus I by Ki. Okay. So this is what is there. This is your V equation. Okay. So let it be equation number 8. This substrate concentration can be brought down. Okay. So what will happen is, you can write it as two terms, V max by 1 plus I by Ki. Okay. Then we have in the denominator, if substrate goes down, what will happen? Substrate by substrate will become 1 plus K1 by substrate concentration. Okay, that is the equation number 9. Now I am going to rewrite the things because this can be written as Vmax approximate or Vmax dash or something, because we want to differentiate it. This term can be replaced with Vmax approximate by 1 plus 1 by 1 plus K1 by S, or this K1 in the problem it is given like Km dash, right? So we can write it like Km dash into this. Let it be equation number 10. So that is our final equation, where this is same, it is defined in the problem. Initially it was given like Km dash in the question. We consider it to be K1. So finally we are rewriting it with Km dash. Okay. So there is no difference there. But here we are defining new term, Vmax approximate is equal to Vmax divided by 1 plus I divided by Ki. Okay. So what are the two Michaelis-Menten parameters? Km dash. Is there any change in it? No. No change in Km dash value. But whereas if you look at the Vmax value, so Vmax value is divided by something, right? So that means there is decrease in Vmax value. Okay, so that is the change we observe. Okay, so the note here is, so for this system where for the given mechanism, so Km dash value there is no change, and Vmax value there is decrease in Vmax value, that we will observe it when we plot the graph also. So if you plot Lineweaver plotting Lineweaver plot, which is 1 by V, 1 by V rate versus 1 by substrate concentration. Okay, we are going to have two graphs. So that means that when I equal to 0, we have a graph, and when I concentration is greater than 0, we are going to have different value. Okay, so your Vmax value is changing. Okay, 1 by Vmax it is, right? So that way there is a decrease in Vmax value. Intercept is increasing, means in reciprocal it is value is decreasing. So that's what we observe when you plot the Lineweaver plot. Okay, so if a normal plot of rate of the reaction versus substrate concentration, usually we will have a graph like this. But now because of this, when inhibitor concentration is 0, we have a plot like this. Means so when the inhibitor concentration is not equal to 0, when it is non-competitive, what is happening? So the Vmax value is decreasing. Your Vmax value getting decreased. So that's what we observe from this plot also. Okay, so if you plot any experimental value and plot it, you will get a Lineweaver plot like this and Michaelis-Menten plot like this. Okay, so how we can overcome this? How we can overcome this? What is the net effect of it? Okay, so the net effect of the non-competitive inhibitor is a reduction in the Vmax value. There is no change in the Km value, not we should know. And increasing the substrate concentration will not be overcoming this type of inhibition. In the previous case, if it is competitive, what we have told, if there is sufficiently large concentration of substrate, then that inhibitor will not able to competitively occupy the seat, right? So it is like overcoming by with the population of the substrate concentration. Okay, whereas if it is non-competitive, increasing the substrate concentration will not help, because it is actually deforming the structure of the enzyme, and it is reducing the catalytic activity in other way, not like first case where competitive means occupying the active sites So thereby decreasing the catalytic activity. So here it is non-competitive, it is occupying some other site in the enzyme, then it is changing the conformation of the enzyme, thereby decreasing the enzymatic activity. That's what we have observed in this case. Okay. So these two are the cases we have considered. So there are other types also which you can practice. So in this lecture number 17, we have derived rate equations for enzyme substrate inhibitor system with different mechanisms. So sort out and stay back, others can leave. Thank you so much for joining my classroom. Meet you in the next lecture. Bye-bye.